And your source for esports racing is live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Full Velocity Racing Network. Live tonight at the Iowa Speedway. Yes, absolutely. We're out here in Iowa still. We're in Knoxville last night, and we move our way over to Newton, Iowa tonight. Pavement version of Full Velocity TV and NR 2003 style tonight with the gang over at Hobo Racing, the Volies Trucking Cup Series run here every Tuesday night. And so happy to have you aboard via Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Phil Lacasse here along with my longtime partner, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton on the call alongside. And Todd, it's going to be a great night for racing in Iowa, 150 laps around, and a little bit different than what we do here normally with the Cup Series. Is Hobo, like many of the Cup leagues out there in this off week, well, they decided to sprinkle a great shot like Iowa in the schedule. And cool to come out here and be at the 7A Smile here tonight. How the heck are you?
Doing fantastic here this evening. Looking forward to Iowa out here in good old corn country. See a lot of corn out here, but it reminds me a little bit of home with the corn, Phil.
A little bit of home. I guess that's exactly the saying. It's good to be back here home in NR 2003. Want to thank our great sponsors, of course, that make up the Full Velocity Racing Network every night. Got to thank Hanover Record Service, iRacing, iFlag, Volies Trucking, our big main sponsor here tonight, as they are every time we come back in the NR 2003 community. Also have to thank BladeNote.com, South Texas Speedway, Montstar Productions, TDR Racing League, Har Motorsports, who sponsors our quick time of the evening, which goes tonight to the number 28 of Keith McLean. Got to thank Trash Panda Graphics, Evil One Graphics, and our buddy Brendan over at Full Throttle with the Gent Nation, alive and well out there in the YouTube live chat. I already see it. Great to see that here tonight as we get ready to go 150 circuits around the 7A Smile here, Iowa Speedway Hobo Racing Cup Series here tonight. But before we get to racing in our starting lineup, let's throw this thing trackside. Let's pay honor to this great nation, the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. All right, back here live in the Iowa Speedway Full Velocity Racing Network, getting ready, set to go for 150 laps around here tonight. And cars getting ready to take onto the grid, and we're going to have an awesome night of racing here. Going to be a great night. Thanks you all for tuning in tonight via Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Taking a quick gander over at the point standings where we get green. Points that are coming into the night. Keelan Jules aboard the number 29. 42 points the advantage between himself and Harry Codian. Jeff Fugate sitting third, 45 points back. 83 markers out is Herman Reese aboard the 73, and Randy Smith's number 10, rounding out our top five in the Hobo Racing point standings. So give you a couple of guys to keep an eye on over the course of the night. I believe they are all in the house, and they're all getting ready to go trackside now. Let's go down there for our command.
Drivers, start your engines!
In a great field of race cars, roars to life. I count 25 strong here tonight in Iowa. They're getting ready to pull out there. The Full Velocity Racing Network pace car pulling away. So let's quickly get through our starting lineup. On the pole, the time of 22.385. The number 28 of Keith McLean alongside the 193 is Ricky Johnson. And row number 2 aboard car number 73 is Herman Reese with the number 22 of Jason San Diego. Third row, we find the number 13 of Harry Codian with the number 51. Our snuggle buddy there, Mr. Roger Devilsick, rolling off 6th. 7th starter on the board, the number 77 is Kevin Roy with Jeff Hughes Newgate alongside aboard car number 9. Fifth row, we find Steve Grant in the number 11 with Duke Sorensen's number 59. Steve Rubino and Danny Rubino make up row number 6 with Ron Simpson, Ralph Pauly, Randy Smith running out our top 15, Josh Boyer, Brendan Spadaforo, Wiley King, Troy Donahue, Manny Diaz making up our top 20 with Matt Stern, Rich Knappich, Keela Jules rolling off deep in the field tonight. Brett Carter's number 66 and Rob Keller's number 57. Making up the balance of our field as we got the command to fire engines. Thought we were getting real green, but it looks like we pulled back one time. As looks like somebody may have had a little bit of issue there. So before they get racing, they'll do that here. So let them regrid, reset, repack one more time. But we look more further at the point standings as we saw Steve Grant rounding out our top, or Randy Smith rounding out our top 5. We find Jason San Diego 6th in the standings. 7th is Steve Grant. Keith McLean, our pole sitter, he comes in tonight 8th. 9th, we find Danny Hardy, number 03. Danny not in the house tonight. Tough to not see him here. The number 6 car of Rich Knappich rounds out our top 10. We say we try this thing again. Take 2 for our command from trackside.
Drivers, start your engines!
If once wasn't good enough, we'll do it a second time, and we'll get the command to fire engines once again. Think we're ready to lock and load this time to go racing here at the Iowa Speedways. We see the field pulling off behind that beautifully prepared Full Velocity Racing Network Chevrolet Corvette pace car. And I believe, Todd, I think you're seeing the right one here tonight. What do you think of the new digs on that thing? That thing's pretty sharp.
They're definitely finally getting to see the nice new FBRN logos and everything going on that pace car. Finally working. It only took about 2 or 3 different tries to get the graphics package to work, and we got it working, Phil.
Yeah, we did. We said that. That's short for saying Phil finally sent me the file and told me to put it in the right location. So let's call it that. As that beautiful Chevrolet Corvette Full Velocity Racing safety car comes down off of the track onto pit road. We're going to put the field over in the hands of Keith McLean, Ricky Johnson, our front row. iRacing, iFlag, green flag up in the air. We are racing for 150 laps tonight here in the state of Iowa, and right away on the inside, Keith McLean going to pull himself up to the race lead. Ricky Johnson going to attempt to pull in line to second, but he's got Herman Reese pestering him. Ricky going to take second, but for how long? Herman's going to look low for the first time over in 3.
Herman did look low there for a moment, and the 73 machine not able to do anything. It's the 193 of Ricky Johnson able to close the door and sit there right in behind the number 28 of Keith McLean. McLean about a car length and a half up in front of that 193 machine. The Voiles Trucking 193 for that matter as they enter the back straightaway here, Phil. It's going to be a wicked fast race here. You said 7/8 of a mile. This is my first trip actually here to the Iowa Speedway.
Wow, really? That's outstanding. A racetrack that was actually designed by NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. Great little racetrack out here. One of these that I think that really belongs on the Cup Series schedule, and great to see a lot of leagues out here at NR 2003. Even in iRacing, I see a lot of Cup leagues sprinkle this facility in as we hope to see it make its way onto the Cup schedule the next couple of years. Return to the short tracks. That'd be a great thing. Add one more, and this one here in Iowa. D-shaped, really long sweeping corners, and really cool little flavor we got here as we're 4 laps in with Keith McLean leading over Ricky Johnson, Herman Reese, Jason San Diego, and Roger Neville, 6 number 51. He's pulled his way to the top 5. Tough break early on for the 13 of Harry Cody, and I think he's our first victim out here in Iowa tonight, Todd, of maybe a little bit of an alien abduction, and we know the voices exist out here in Iowa. Tough break for the 13 car. He started in the top 5. If he's going to get back in the server, he's going to have to do it from multiple laps down.
They're definitely going to have to do it from multiple laps down. As I think he finally joined the tail end of the field.
Yes,
there,
he did.
Phil. So the 13 of Harry Codian finally out there on the track. Like he said, multiple laps down. We'll see if he's going to be able to mount a charge and maybe get a quick couple of lucky dogs to do it the old-fashioned way. The 13 machine. I know it's difficult, and sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, man, I'm never going to be back in this race. But sometimes cars do play with it.
And if you're going to fall out and be a couple laps down, why not do it right away on the opening laps of the race? That's what Harry did. Harry Codian's 13 car going to rejoin the field 25th, but he is 3 laps down and still up front, all basically single file. McLean, Johnson, Reese, Jason San Diego, Roger Neville, 651. His Ford having a good run early. Roger up in the 5th spot. You go back to 6th and you find Kevin Roy. Jeff Fugate up to 7th. Steve Grant riding the 8th spot. Duke Sorensen 9th. And Steve Rubino's 21. Steve having a good run early. Put Steve Rubino up in the top 10 of that Hobo Racing 21. And he makes his way through. Somebody's having some condition issues over there in the 3rd and 4th turn. I don't know if a car in the top 10 or might have get once again been to 13, but somebody was blinking all over the place and made for a couple of precarious moments right there as we're 8 laps in. Still single file as they work their way down to the turn 3.
And just cruising up through the field there, Phil. Just watching some different things that are going on. Like you said, the internet connection issues. That's a big problem sometimes. Unfortunately, as the aliens try to take you away from the track, could cause a racing incident out there on the speedway where this car goes inside a car. But hopefully, we'll get that ironed out. Race so far pretty smooth as we look at it. Looking at a lot of single file as we come up through the field here, Phil, just with different camera angles, just watching some different cars, what they're doing. Seeing Brendan spot a 4 on the 37 machine there for a little bit. He was making a couple moves there. So a couple of guys jumping out of line, but they're pretty much staying single file here at Iowa.
Yeah, Brendan's giving us the best race on the racetrack. He swings to the inside of Randy Smith's number 10. Put Brendan Spadafora now up in the top 15. He currently rides 14th with that pass. So 37, that brand new paint scheme out there. The full throttle with the gent on the hood. FDRN there on the quarter panels. Thank our buddy Brendan for flying our colors. We fly his proudly every night as well. That great podcast type show he does, full throttle with the gent. I know Gent Nation knows what we're talking about. They are represented over here in the YouTube chat as they always are, and so far so good for the pilot at number 37. Brendan now up the top 10 as I'm floating through the field just like you are, Todd, looking for some good battles. And what's going on as I see smoke off of turn number 3 and 4, and I see one car has gone around. They're going to put us on a yellow flag for the first time here tonight. Yellow on lap number 12. So our first Hannibal Record Service caution flag of the night. And see if we maybe get a quick look at this. Or Todd, go back and get a quick look at it. I'm just trying to juke and jive all around trying to find what may have happened there. And I don't see it yet. We're going to give Todd here a second. He's got a whole heck of a lot more cameras than I do. And Todd will give you our first BladeNo.com full velocity racing instant replay of the night, presented by our friends here at Hobo Racing. Todd, when you're ready, chime in. I don't see what car it is yet, but I'm going to go back and hit the rewind button. I'm sure your rewind button is a whole lot more crisp than mine is.
Well, the 22 of Jason San Diego going around is what's going to be the story that brings out this first Hannibal Record Service yellow flag of the evening. He just gets tail happy coming off the corner here. And around and a knot he goes. He goes down towards the infield in the 22 machine right there on the front straightaway, right in front of the flagger. Flagger says, "Oh, enough of that. We're going to throw that caution." I know we've had problems with the flaggers in the past, but tonight throwing the caution right there in front of him.
Well, he probably paying attention because what's really here to do in the state of Iowa? I mean, there's corn everywhere. A couple of good fancy little racetracks out here, but other than that, what is there really to do? Jason, I think, was trying to take there to the quarter midget track there on the inside as he goes through, cuts the grass, and going to put us on our caution flag for the first time tonight on lap number 14. That's a tough break, too, because Jason was up in the top 5, was running 4th at the time, a guy who comes in tonight in the top 5 in the overall point standing. So not the way he wants to start his night aboard car number 22. Jason San Diego is he's probably got 4 flat spotted tires, so he's going to have to come down the pit road here in Iowa and probably put 4 fresh goodies on that thing and rejoin the field. But to wait and see, I look up here up front, and I see guys like Keila Jules having the first car behind the pace car, so I don't think he has come to pit road. I do not believe a 10 of Randy Smith has come in. I believe Rich Knappick is also amongst the ranks of the cars that stayed out. I believe Harry Codian may get a lucky dog here, being 3 laps down. We'll have to wait and see as he comes in. I see Manny Diaz coming on the pit side of the 73. Herman Reese, number 73 car, Todd, looks to be the first of those who was up in the lead group that may have come, or no, I should check that right. Keith McLean's the first of those drivers that came on the pit road amongst the race leaders, but I believe when the cycle's on back through, I believe those guys will be sitting about 4th or 5th, so little sneaky little play here for a guy like Keila Jules, our point leader coming into the night. Got here a little bit late, didn't have any practice on that race car. Going to take a gamble early on and take some track position by staying out. Not a bad time to do so.
Definitely not a bad time to do so is Iowa Speedway, and just watching what these guys are going to do. And it's a good time to try a 4-tire call, a 2-tire call. I mean, you got some laps on those tires there, Phil. That's a good call too, just to see what's going to go on. Maybe use that as a strategy towards the end of the event if we get into a really short run, or maybe even a long run for that matter. Just getting those fresh tires and going out there on the speedway, and some of these guys staying out. So it's going to be different. You're going to have guys on different strategies, especially if yellow flags fall at different areas.
You absolutely will, and I can tell you what, I've been around this place, many hundreds of laps around this joint, and I can tell you, I've always killed the right front tire here. I don't care if it's an open set. I don't care if it's a fixed set. This place notorious for tire wear, and I'm going to wait and see what it does here with the guys in the race leaders. KJ did come to pit road, but Randy Smith is going to be the guy in the Hard Rock Cafe Pontiac, car number 10. He's going to be the guy that's going to lead us back to green flag this time, and looks like he's elected to stay out there. But guys like, you got Keith McLean there riding now second, Herman Reese in the third spot, Roger Nevillesick now fourth, Ricky Johnson. Ricky J going to start in the Volies Trucking Ford. He's going to roll off from the fifth spot with Kevin Roy, Jeff Fugate, Steve Grant, Josh Boyer, and Steve Rubino going to be our current top 10. Lights out around the speedway. So next time by, we should be back to some green flag racing. The Full Velocity Racing Network pace car makes its way pit side, and out of lap number 17, the Racing I flag, green flag returns to the air. Randy Smith going to lead the field here down in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Randy Smith leading down into turn 1, but the 28 makes a dive back down to the bottom there to get around the number 10 of Randy Smith. So put the 28, Keith McLean, back to the lead. Herman Reese follows suit, moves into second. So Randy Smith up top. He's stuck all by himself, though. I don't know if that gamble really pulled off for him.
I'm not sure it was a good move, because all of a sudden you see Roger Nevillesick go by. Ricky Johnson's going by. Ricky Jagan looked at the low side of Roger Nevillesick. Ricky Johnson putting that Ford down low. Ricky Johnson now up to the third spot. Nevillesick back to fourth. Kevin Roy's also made his way around the number 10 of Randy Smith, who I look for all the way back here, and I find Randy has dropped all the way already outside the top 10. I see guys like Ralph Pauly going by. Ralph restarted 11th, so Randy's gamble on the tires there, Todd, did not pay off. He's already free-falling well outside the top 10 as we're working down toward turn number 1 there, down this D-shaped 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway, all chasing race leader Keith McLean. Herman Reese, though, he's not too far behind.
Sorry about the delay just a little bit with my microphone. Just trying to figure this out here tonight. Trying to make sure that that's actually working here this evening or not. Trying to get all the racing action going on. Different camera angles. A little bit more in depth here is looking at Iowa. Trying to figure out if they set the cameras up correctly for me here this evening. And so far they have, Phil. Just looking at different drivers going throughout the field.
All right, well, I'm doing the same thing. We're trying to do the same thing as we're just migrating on through, watching these guys mainly ride single file in the top 10, and I think that's what Iowa kind of produces here. It's a long race for 150 laps here. It feels like it's short, but it's closely just about 120 miles around this place. So, give or take a couple of that, it's a place that can eat up tires, that can eat up race cars if you're not careful. It's a really good racetrack to go out there and get in a rhythm, log some laps. That's exactly what the gang over here at Hobo is elected to do early on now, working on lap number 22 as I'm just rolling here back to the field, and I'm seeing some good racing going on back here where Steve Rubino is, but Steve Grant and Josh Boyer, I go even further back, waiting to see if I can't find something as far as position battles really go, and so far the best that I'm finding right now is something that's not happening on the lead lap. I'm seeing Harry Codians, number 13. Harry now 2 laps down. I'm seeing him drive his way up to the field on some fresh tires, but nothing happening as far as positions going to update the 10 car of Randy Smith, Todd. He led that lady lap there on tires. He's dropped all the way back to 23rd, the final car to lead lap. I would say that move did not pay off at all.
Definitely didn't pay off for Randy Smith, but he found out. I guess that you could say it did pay off in some aspect. He found out that's something that he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to gamble like that, Phil. You don't want to stay out there long and watch these guys on new tires flash by him. So I guess you could say it's a little bit of a benefit, though.
I guess it's better time to learn it now as we have 125 laps remaining, watching the race leaders now enter over to turn number 3. Keith McLean leading by 3 car lengths over Herman Reese, and right behind him, Ricky Johnson has run these two guys down. It's a three-way dance up there for the race lead, still all single file. But wait to see if one of these cars breaks on a line. Ricky Johnson, Todd, he is hugging that yellow line through the corners. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I think that's the way to probably get your tire the most hot, but Ricky J is making it work down there. His car getting to the corner a little bit better than Herman Reese right now as they race on. Looks like not really a battle for a second, but it's starting to become one. Ricky Johnson looking for a little bit lower groove down there than the rest of the field so far, as he's the only driver I see amongst the top 10 that is really hugging that yellow line throughout the entire corner.
And Ricky Johnson, the fastest car out there on the speedway too, Phil, last time by 23.015. Next closest guy was right there in front of him. That's Herman Reese with a 23.027. So that car is wicked, wicked fast. Voiles trucking 193. We'll see if he's going to be able to maintain that type of speed as the run goes longer.
Have to wait and see as that goes on. Watching another race starting to shape up back here. I see this bright green Sundrop number 9 of Jeff Fugate. And look in the mirror behind him, and you see this awesome-looking number 41 car of Josh Boyer. Josh going to go to the inside. That's going to be the best race of the position. That's racing for 6 down the front stretch over turn number 1. Boyer looking to the low side of Fugate. Does he have that running them down there? He's going to pull up just to the left rear. Good race for 6, Todd, off of 2.
And definitely a good race for that 6th position. Like you said, as Boyer looked down to the bottom, Fugate able to slam the door shut here for a little bit. Just back up the track through the corner, though. Boyer firing back on the inside in the number 41 machine. They come off the corner to the start finish line. Give Boyer that 6th position in that number 41 machine. So as he starts to ascend to the front of the field, he gets around Jeff Fugate in that process.
Yes, he did. And, look sneaky up front there, Todd. We peek away from that race going on for second, for just a second, and what happens? Ricky Johnson makes his way around Herman Reese, and now setting his sights on the race leader, Keith McLean. Herman's car looks like may have fallen off a little bit, or maybe just got some of that yucky up there, because Iowa's a place, it's definitely not a 2-group racetrack at all. You run up there long enough, you not only kill your tires, there's just no speed up there, so this track is really sensitive. It's really a track that you have to make it happen down low. You rarely see a pass happen up high unless somebody's car is just so much better than somebody else. But Ricky Johnson now up to second. 3 car lengths lead himself and the race leader Keith McLean. We know Ricky's been faster. How's that still holding up, Todd, as we're 33 laps in next time around?
Yeah, looking through, and it still is. No. Last time by Keith McLean, 23.188 to Ricky Johnson's 23.231, but it changed that time. So he was a little bit quicker there that time by. With a 23.260 to a 312 was Ricky Johnson that time by. So it's changed a little bit, Ricky Johnson and Keith McLean. But those two definitely the fastest cars out in the speedway right now.
They really are, and I'm see a good battle back here as Jeff Fugate continues to fall back a little bit in the back part of the top 10. The 11 car, that Speedworks number 11, Steve Grant pulls his Pontiac up alongside, makes the pass on the 9 car of Jeff Fugate. So Jeff going to drop back now to what looks like maybe even the 9th spot as Steve Rubino's number 21 car has gone to the low side. Look at old Steve Rubino, Todd. He's having a good run early. Put Steve now up to 8th. That Hobo 21, that thing's sure rolling good. Steve Rubino up to the 8th spot. I'm sure YouTube is going to like that.
Yeah, definitely YouTube got to be liking that one there, Phil. Is having a fantastic run to Steve Rubino. It's probably kind of quiet as we got smoke in front of Rubino. A car around. It might be our snuggle buddy out there, Phil, the 51 machine.
Oh, no. I think you may almost be correct on that one. I do definitely know. Yellow flag coming out now on lap number 36, our second Hanover Record Service caution flag of the evening. On lap 36, and I think Todd may have nailed it. Don't want to give it away, but I think somebody just wanted a snuggle, and I think he just was feeling a little bit lonely because I think I smell a selfie coming here, Todd, on our BladeNote.com Full Velocity Racing Network Instant Replay.
Yeah, our BladeNote.com Full Velocity Racing Replay here as we're watching the 51, the snuggle. Number 51 of Roger. Now let's get going around all by a selfie. Going into the corner, nobody around him. Must have been one of those darn ghost cars spinning them out there in the 51 machine, and around he goes. No damage on that car, Probably a little bit of a hurt ego. He's spit it out by himself. Now he's on Full Velocity Racing Network that way. Flat spotted tires, and well, at least he's not damaged, Phil.
No, that's a good thing. No damage to the 51, just around and probably feeling a little bit lonely or maybe a little bit, I don't know. We'll talk to Roger here in a little bit, maybe here under the caution flag on lap number 37 on your source for esports racing, the Full Velocity Racing Network, that you can check out our all-new website home. Check us out today at fullvelocitytv.com. You can check out our full event schedule, which has many of races here at Hobo on a Tuesday night with so many great programs on night in, night out. We are absolutely busy all the time, and we absolutely love doing so. Check out our schedule events. Check out how to become a contributor. Maybe click and visit some of our great sponsors out there, or maybe even become a sponsor here live on the Full Velocity Racing Network. Check us out today at our all-new home, fullvelocitytv.com, as we work under yellow on lap number 37. And Pit Road is a very, very busy place, which I thought it probably would be, because we saw what happens when you don't come down to pit road. We saw Randy Smith, unfortunately, take one of those beatings getting on pit road right there, but they take the race off, and it looks like Keith McLean, with a little bit of quick pit work there, is going to win the race off of pit road over Ricky Johnson and Herman Reese and Josh Boyer. Kevin Roy looks like will be the fifth car off of pit road. A couple of drivers have yet to come in, including now Randy Smith. Looks like Rich Napick yet to make a stop. Manny Diaz. I do see the 13 of Harry Codian now in. I did also see, I believe, Randy Smith's 10 car. Yes, indeed, he did to come to pit road. So he didn't want to make that same mistake twice by not coming into pit for the first time now. That 10 car comes pit side. So we'll have to wait and see as Keith McLean won the race off pit road. I wonder if somebody like Rich Napick is going to pull a fast one, or maybe even Manny D in the 710. Those two drivers have yet to come on to pit road under this caution flag, and I'm curious to see if they do, because I think they saw what happened to the 10 car there on old tires. It was no bueno.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to do, and hopefully that's what they went down to pit road for, Phil. It's yeah. I don't know. If I would have seen that early in the race, I would say the same exact thing. And it's a short track, though. Yeah, I mean, yellow flags. You might as well go in and get four fresh Goodyear Eagles, get back out there on the speedway and run them, because tires becoming a commodity here at a short track, especially a track like Iowa.
All right, absolutely. So we work under the yellow flag here, waiting to see if the lights do go out around the speedway this time, and the answer is yes. We are going to go back racing next time around, so we get ready to rock and roll. I want to say hello. I see our buddies over here in the Facebook's live side of things. I saw Sam Perry was out over here. I see Andy Margot, who has chimed in with his nightly distraction to me. Andy, I appreciate those more than you know. That's a good sight for sure. But we get ready to go back and racing here tonight in Iowa. And this one's going to be a lot of fun to watch here as we still stay under this current yellow flag. The second one of the night, and approaching one-third the way home is off turn number 4. We go back to green flag racing. I flag, green flag back in the air. Keith McLean indeed leads the field. He's going to be the first to hit him over there in turn 3. Brendan having a good one early on, too. Good to see Brendan doing good. I'm sure Jet Nation's going to love that, as well as Brendan having a great run out of the gate here up at the top 10. And talked him a little bit off air before we came on tonight. And he's saying, Phil, I feel like my car is really in the racetrack. It's turning well. It's handling great. It doesn't have an awful lot of speed in qualifying, but he was really under the belief, Todd, that maybe not a top 2 or 3 car, but I really thinks he had a solid race car underneath him. Brendan Spadafora, so far so good. 37 car up in the top 10, currently running the 10th spot, and may indeed look for more as he has run down the 9 at Jeff Fugate. They run down the back stretch into turn 3.
Definitely running down the back straightaway, like you said there, into turn number 3, just trying to get to that beautiful battle, hopefully, that's going to be unfolded. As I'm watching Kilojoules in the 21 machine go at it. But yeah, Brendan Spadafora right there, too, right directly behind him, I should say. There, the number 37 machine, as you said, he has caught Jeff Fugate. He is a tick faster last time by than say per se Fugate. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get around him. It's one thing to catch the driver, it's another thing to get around him. But I tell you, Kilojoules right there directly in front of him, trying to get around the number 21 machine of Steve Rubino. Rubino right now holding on to the 7th position as he was looking to try to get around the 11 of Steve Grant right there directly in front of him, too.
Yeah, it's a good little game of cat and mouse right there. And Steve trying to make the move on Steve, but you see KJ in the 29 behind, and looks like KJ's got a good Camaro as per usual, and he's going to pull to the inside of the 21 over in Turbo 1, put KJ Kilojoules now up to the 7th spot, and he arguably right now, Todd, looks to be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack currently. He's at 029. He makes his way to 7th. He's got 3 seconds to run down between himself and our current race leader. His teammate Keith McLean is leading, but if somebody can make up this ground and still has 100-plus laps to do it, don't count out the 029. He has shown night after night, week after week. I don't care what track, what mod we're in. That KJ guy, that guy's quick.
Definitely have to echo that, Phil. As KJ, we've seen him quick just about every league I've ever been a part of. If you see his name show up in the server, you know that he's going to be wicked quick. Now looking to the bottom side here, off the number 11 of Steve Grant. Grant right now holding on to 11th or 6th position, so we'll see if he can able to hold on to it much longer as Kilojoules going to get by him, but it looks like he's going to be able to do so here down the front straightaway. Put that 029 up to 6, and he's marching forward.
He sure is. He is starting to eat them up. Almost Keela Jazusic there is even passing a car in the middle of traffic time. He's holding pace with lap times with his teammate up front, Keith McLean, the race leader, who's right now sitting there very comfortably in front of Ricky Johnson. Herman Reeks there riding in 3rd. How about the run early on for Josh Boyers, number 41? We know Josh is, he's a smooth character as well. Really good race car driver. That awesome-looking Titleist number 41 car sitting there in P4. Terrific run through the first 50 laps for Josh Boyers, 41.
Yeah, definitely having a great run. I have to echo that too, Phil. He's having a great run right there behind Herman Reese. And just looking at some lap times as I was glancing over to one of my multiple monitors here, just looking at lap times, as Boyer right now is a little bit slower than Herman Reese, but not that much slower. That's why you don't see the gap lengthen there for that number 73 machine. But Boyer still holding on to the 4th position. Kevin Roy right now, last time by, Phil, was one of the quicker cars on the speedway. So Kevin Roy starting to reel in the top 3 cars. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do anything too. And that number 77 machine, he's been just laying back there waiting in the weeds. As he's got Kilojoules trying to run him down. As Killa a lot faster last time by than the 77 of Roy too. So that just shows you how fast those 2 cars are right now.
They really are. That car is zooming out there, the 029. Kevin Roy's another one of those guys you don't talk an awful lot about. The guy just goes out night after night and turns in really solid, consistent runs, and that's what it's all about to be out here running a full season. You want to do good in the points, you want to do good in one of these races, you just got to keep your car under you. Race your own race. Don't really, worry about too much of a competition behind you, and that's what Kevin Roy is doing. The only problem for Kevin right now, he looks in his rearview mirror, and that 029 is getting larger and larger and larger. KJ has run them down almost 3 car lengths. Look at the way the 029 biting through turns 1 and 2. We may have a race for that 5th spot, Todd, by the time we get over to turn 3. Yeah, and you see the 77, he got stuck on the outside lane, and you just can't do anything up there. Once you lose that, that preferred lane down low, somebody gets a fender on you, you're just better off letting, just rolling over, let that guy work his way by, and I think that's what Kevin did right there. I think he fought for about half a turn and figured out right away, well, that wasn't going to work. Kevin right now dropping back to the 6th spot, but he's got a good little gap between himself and Steve Grant back there riding in the 7th position. Steve Rubino still holding on really solidly, running in 8th. Jeff Fugate currently running 9th, and it's still Brendan Spadafora running in our top 10. 11th, a nice rebound for the 22 of Jason San Diego early on. Spin for him up in the top 5. Jason's 22 car starting to move forward. 12th, we find Rob Keller's number 57. Ralph Pauly running 13th. Wiley King 14th, and Ron Simpson's number 25. That rounds out our current top 15 on lap number 57. And So far, I'm not seeing too much happening up in the middle part of the top 10, but I look back here and I see Brendan Spadafora. He is clinging on for life in the top 10. He's got Jason San Diego to his inside. That's the battle for that 10th spot. Oh, he got loose. Oh, he got really loose because he had position on the 37 and this back end of the 22. It really just stepped out on him and, somehow held on to the race car but lost a couple of spots. Yeah, he loses one there. Brendan holds on to it. Rob Keller was able to make his way by, as was the 13 car of Harry Codian. And Harry Todd has rallied his way back to one lap down here as we get to lap number 60. So far, so good. Harry Codian's one of the faster cars on the racetrack, currently sitting one lap down, 23rd, but he's a guy, if he gets back in the lead lap, I think that may be a player in the second half of this race as he continues to march his way forward, as is Rob Keller, who has now made his way to the top 10, 37 car starting to backslide.
37 car, like you said there, Phil, starting to backslide, now back to, Jason San Diego getting loose again in the 22 machine, able to save it. It looked like a dirt track there for the number 22 machine. It's just that back end is really nasty and evil right now aboard the number 22. So, man, wicked loose.
Somebody tell the 22 we were at Knoxville last night because that car was just crazy loose. And, Brendan's telling me his car, he just really be messing. His car is really tight. The tires have gone away. I'm not sure the 22 can say the same thing. That car, I'm sure his tires are a thing right now, Todd, but that right rear of that 22 keeps on stepping out, watching that battle. That car is a handful.
Yeah, you've been watching that battle, Phil, back there, but Kilojoule's been poking his way forward around Josh Boyer already. Now going around Herman Reese in the 73 machine, put Kilojoules to that third spot. So in the last few laps, Killa has been able to run down as the number 41 of Boyer, pass him.
Oh, my goodness.
Then run down the 73 machine of Herman Reese and pass him. Now he sets his sights on the top two. That is Ricky Johnson, about 2 seconds ahead of him, and Keith McLean, another half a second ahead of Ricky Johnson. So 2.5 seconds, and, man, Kilojoules is on fire right now.
I'm going to tell you exactly how this looks to my end. About 15 laps ago, I looked at the interval between Keith McLean and Kilojoules, and it was 3.1 seconds. Well, I look at it 15 laps later as everybody's car is falling off. KJ has lost about 0.2 of a second, but the 29 car up to the third spot. He's still got 3.3 seconds to run down, but that car, arguably one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, as everybody starts to fall off. He's past Herman Reeks, he's past Josh Boyer, Kevin Roy. Those are guys who have really good, solid race cars. It shows the strength under the hood of that 29 right now. I believe that's a PPR2 sweep of the top three currently.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys are fast here tonight. As Keith McLean just showing why he is wicked fast at every track we go to, too. Same way with Kilojoules. But Ricky Johnson, we got to say some good things about that 193, that Voiles Trucking number 193, Ricky Johnson. Johnson's been doing good here as of late, Phil. In the last few races that I've actually got to sit down and watch and broadcast, Ricky Johnson's been fast. He just wasn't able to finish it off and maybe pick up a win towards the end of the race. So let's see what Ricky Johnson's able to do. Don't count him out right yet because I tell you, he's been running some pretty tight, good lap times, almost even to what these guys are running. But yellow flag going to come out. Yellow flag number 3 here in Iowa.
Yeah, it is. Yellow flag number 3 of the night on lap number 67, and it just happens to be right when the pit road window was opening for a lot of guys. I saw guys like Ron Simpson on pit road. I saw, Carter's number 66. I saw Jason San Diego come on down. Rich Napick just has fallen a lap down. He was going pit side. So yellow flag going to come out on lap number 67, our third Hanover Record Service yellow flag of the night. And going to give Todd a minute here to go back with a BladeNo.com Full Velocity Racing Network instant replay. And I'm not sure if you caught something yet, Todd, or not, but if you did, tell us what happened. Thinking Todd is probably still busy searching down there, as am I, as I was starting to to put my eyes toward pit road and see what was going on down there. So we'll see if he finds something before I do. As I'm going to zoom back through my in-game part of things and see if we can't, figure out what happened there. Is tough to tell here as I'm looking around. The camera angles here, not the greatest for me for sure, but I'm going to see if I can't help out. Oh, Todd's got a couple more than I do down there, so we'll see what he may find if we see a car have gone around or whatever the heck happened there, because it was smack dab in the middle of green flag pit stops there for a lot of guys who were just starting to come on and not exactly sure where it may have come from. Todd, you got anything you may show there yet? Because I'm not finding anything, but I'm still looking.
Yeah.
61 car, Todd, if you'd find it yet,
So
number
we've already
61.
found it here, Phil, live on the screen. The number 61 machine around in and out all by a selfie going down below Brendan Spadafora. Goes and decides he's going to do some landscaping work down here in the grass all by his selfie. And takes out some grass, gets it going, backs out up into the field here, just making sure he misses it, causes enough smoke. And back going, Roger Pauly in the number 61 machine around all by himself.
Ralph Pauly. I
Ralph
made that
Pauly.
mistake a few weeks ago. Ralph Pauly's number 61. I called them Richie a few weeks ago. No, it is Ralph Pauly's number 61, so make sure we get that right. And kind of tough for us sometimes is it says R. Pauly in the game there. We're going to go back there and check, but it is Ralph Pauly's number 61, that U.S. Navy machine there going around there, that awesome-looking Dodge SRT. Going around and not here on lap number 69, his third Hanover Record Service caution flag of the night, and is going to throw a monkey wrench in the equation. I know guys were coming down on pit road. Guys like Jason San Diego had this pit. Ron Simpson was in, but this may be a break to put a guy like Harry Codian back to the lead lap. It may give a guy like Rich Knappick a chance to get a wave around and see what happens. But sad to report, Todd, I see two cars that pulled off the racetrack with issues. I see not only Rob Keller's number 57 is pulled behind the wall, but early on in the going, we noticed the number 710 of Manny Diaz had something break in the gearbox. So of our 25 drivers that started, we have 23 of those left on the racetrack, and currently my count is 20 on the lead lap as we're 5 laps short of halfway, and business about to pick up. You think these guys have probably learned an awful lot right now what their race car is doing, and more so than not, how the racetrack is going to react to that race car. What do you think these guys may be thinking for adjustments to say if you're a guy like a Josh Boyer or a Jeff Fugate back there in the latter part of the top 10? What do you think those guys may be thinking to adjust on when they come pit side? Go for it, Todd, because we do this on Dirt every night where you're smarter than I am. I'm going to throw you a bone right there. What do you think you're adjusting?
I have no clue. I'm not even going to venture to know that I know anything about open setups here. Besides, I could put tape on, make it more downforce. I know not a lot about asphalt setups. I don't know what they're adjusting so much, per se, here on the asphalt side of things. Maybe some tire pressures? I'm not 100% positive.
All right, so I'm going to put this out there now for my brother Todd as we go back to Green Flag Racing in Iowa. If we can get the old Cole Trickle meme out there from the old movie Days of Thunder, Harry, I don't know nothing about cars. I just get in there and drive them, okay? I think that's you, Todd, as we're back to Green Flag Racing here in Iowa.
Maybe asphalt car side of things. You just get in there and drive them. Been a part of a real car for a very long time, but on the dirt side of things, and you could probably cross over with some of the things, but my job is to go sideways, and you don't want to go sideways on asphalt.
Sure you do. Ask our old buddy Martin Karch here. He did it all the time and somehow did it good. Didn't say he almost made it stick, but it looks spectacular when you do, and hopefully none of these guys. We saw 22 of Jason San Diego doing it a little while ago and didn't fare so well as his car is dropped now back 1 lap down, 21st position as we work still under the green flag here now. 1 lap shy of halfway. What do you say we take a try here at our full field rundown sponsored by Full Velocity Racing Network. Check us out today at fullvelocitytv.com. In the lead right now at the halfway marker, car number 28 of Keith McLean, leading Ricky Johnson, Keila Jules, Herman Reese, Kevin Roy, our current top 5. 6th is Josh Boyer with Jeff Fugate running in 7th. Steve Grant 8th. Steve Rubino running 9th. Brendan Spadafora running in our top 10. Wiley King is currently 11th. Brett Carter is 12th. Danny Rubino currently back in 13th. Roger Nevillsick is 14th. Randy Smith running out our top 15. 16th is Rich Napick. 17th will be Matt Stern. Troy Donahue is 18th. Ralph Pauling 19th. He's the last car to lead lap. 1 lap down, we find the number 13 of Harry Codian. He rounds out our top 20. 21st, 1 lap down, is Jason San Diego. Duke Sorensen, he is currently 2 laps down to 59. He is 23rd. Rob Keller finishing tonight 24th behind the wall, as is Manny Diaz, is number 7. 25 drivers took the green flag here about 40 minutes ago, and right now past the halfway marker. The guy with the fastest car here tonight has been the number 28 of Keith McLean, but he's got some company behind him, Todd. Ricky Johnson is good, and don't look behind Ricky. You see teammate Kilo Jules in the 029 is there. KJ's Lumen, he's our point sitter. He won a couple of weeks ago. I think he's going to be a player here in the second half of this race, I got a feeling.
Yeah, I definitely think the 029 definitely going to be a player here in the second half of the races. We're already past halfway home, Phil, so we have 70, well, we have a little bit less than 70 laps to go. Yeah, well, I can't add here tonight, so we're not even going to try. We're not even going to try here tonight, but we're pretty close. I know we're past halfway, but we're just a little bit shy here. It's going to be the second portion of this event here at Iowa, and just Kilojoules starting to come alive here towards the middle portion there on that long green flag run. We know he's got a car. If he's able to stick with the top 2, does he have a car enough to pass the top 2? That's the next question.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Todd, I'm over here watching over here via the Facebook Live and the YouTube chat. I see Don Dolson over here watching on Facebook Live. Don, so good to see you out there watching, buddy. Great to see you out there. Hope all is well on your side of things. Also over here, Todd, the YouTube chat has been very lively out here tonight. As it always is a Hobo. We've got Michelle over here. Larry's over here. We've got say who else? Judy's out here per usual. Steve's over here, and Rubino out there as well. Our buddy Bobby Farrell out there. And the talk over there, Todd, I'm not sure if you have the access to the YouTube chat tonight, but the talk right now is ice cream. That sounds really good on this hot Thursday night or Tuesday night, does it not? Should we just stop talking for a while and go make an ice cream stop, or do you think they get mad if we stop talking?
Well, I don't know. They might enjoy their ice cream a little bit more if we weren't talking. Probably sometimes. I almost think.
All right. Well, I think it'd probably sound better on mute, but I'll save that for another day, probably. And I see them going out there. I see burgers and ice cream, and I even see somebody said Snuggle Soft. Michelle may be out there thinking of Roger, and well, let's see. Where's Roger at right now? The number 51, our good buddy out 14. There. And he is currently running out there in the 14th position, doing the best he can as he's having a good time. And I just got a little whisper message from Brendan. He goes, ice cream sounds really good. I think he's going to pull off the racetrack here. Do you think Brendan would pit out of 10th for a little bit of ice cream? I think Michelle may have some for him.
Yeah, I don't know, Phil. I don't know if I would want to put Pitt out of 10th position right now. And he's having a great run in that 37 machine here tonight. So, I mean, you got to capitalize on that run. Ice cream, save it for later. If you cherish it, it'll be way better at the end.
We're going to try that old theory out when this race is over, because I got a couple of, I had a thing of peanut butter and chocolate over there that is just calling my name, and I can't wait to dive into that. That sounds really good, but we still got some action left to go. 85 of 120 laps here in Iowa, live on the Full Velocity Racing Network, your source for esports racing here via Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Phil and Todd, the legendary duo that has done NR 2003 broadcasting for so many years now, back to it in a big way. Thanks to the gang over here at Hobo. Thanks to Brian and Kathy Boyles over at Boyles Trucking. Brian not here tonight, so hope all is well over there on their side of the world. Thank them for all what they do for us. Thank you what they do for this league. They're great people. We have a good race going on right now as I find a battle for the 5th spot. Josh Boyer to the inside of Kevin Roy. Do not count that 41, Todd. That car looks really good on a long run. Josh now going to make his way back into the top 5. I'm hoping Todd's still there, and maybe he decided to take the headset off and go get ice cream. As I see him doing some work there, clicking back and forth between cars. Maybe he left the wife to do that. Todd, you still with me down there? I see the cameras flicking. I'm just hoping you're not the one eating the ice cream, because if you are, I mean, we're done. This marriage is over.
Oh, no, I'm not eating no ice cream as of right now, Phil. Just clicking through cameras. And in cars, sometimes it's hard to hear you because the in-car sounds over on my end of things are wicked, wicked loud. So I was working through that, and sometimes it gets difficult to hear you. Just was trying to get through and show a couple different views of everything that we have here going on here in Iowa, and beautiful camera angles that they've provided us with here tonight. As I can't even English here this evening, so maybe I have to have some ice cream or something later. Yellow flag out.
Well, yellow flag is out for the 4th time on lap number 190. That's going to put Todd back to work down there. So put the ice cream scooper down, Todd. We've got something to show here on a replay. I didn't say 190. I said 90. If I said 190, I am definitely a little bit senile. Last night I was seeing wrong. Race cars starting to lose it here, maybe in my advanced age, as Todd would call it. But yellow flag for the 4th time now on lap number 91. Going to put Todd to work down there with the BladeNo.com Full Velocity Racing Network instant replay, and not again. Oh no. I think we've talked about this guy already tonight, Todd, and I think he heard us out there on YouTube, because I think he heard ice cream, and I think he may want some. Grab a teddy bear down there with the replay.
All he wants to do is snuggle. He wants out of this race, Phil. The 51 Roger Nebelstick. Hard through the corner here. Going hard, I should say. Keeps it out of the wall, though, but it gets tail happy. He goes around all by himself. He wasn't happy with the mow job that was done down there. Had to recreate it a little bit down here as he goes down towards the pit road and gets it back going, picks it up. Roger Nebelstick not happy with the grass maintenance again, so he's down through the grass. No contact with the walls, though, Phil. That's the great thing.
Well, here's the bad news for Roger, though. There's an old adage in some of these leagues, Todd. If you spin, you bring out 2 caution flags, something bad happens to you. What is that usually?
You have to park your car normally. 2 and
well,
you're done.
Yep, 2 and you're done, and that's what Roger has done. Car has come down, no damage. Behind the wall to the trailer for the night. Unfortunately, Roger's night is done, so didn't get a snuggle buddy, but he's got time to
maybe he's going back to the snuggle now.
Maybe he's going to go for a snuggle now, and maybe he can go. Maybe Brendan's crew's got some ice cream down there. As I saw Larry out there in the chat, Todd, and Larry says they are dancing queens pitting down there in skirts. Not sure I want to pit a car in skirts, but
what type of queens are we talking about, though?
Oh, I don't know what kind of queens we're talking about.
It could be awful scary.
Oh, buddy.
Scary.
They say strange things do happen here in Iowa, so I think we want to keep that there, silent for a minute here.
Make sure they don't have an Adam's apple.
Oh man, that's how much a college experience gone wrong, Todd. We're gonna leave that one alone as we work under the yellow here on lap number 93 of 150. The field working its way over in turn number 3 and 4, and I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope, because this ship is sinking quickly. I want to see the lights go out around the speedway. I want to go back to some green flag racing, because it has been a great one tonight here in Iowa. The fastest car here tonight, our pole sitter, Hard Motorsports Quick Time, went to the number 28 of Keith McLean. The pace car lights do go out. We see 2 drivers taking a wave around, and let's see if we can't take a peek of who those 2 may be. I see Matt Stearns, number 04. Who's currently back there running 3 laps down, and the number 13 of Harry Codian, which, Todd, the 13 car was 3 laps down. Aliens abducted him 45 minutes ago, and Harry Codian now is on the lead lap, currently running at 18th. My prediction, 13 cars kind of come to the top 10, and rather soon. The reason Todd hasn't said a word yet is because I wish we had, and one of these days I think I may actually, put my own stream up over on Twitch and let you hear some of the things this guy will put me through off air, because he says things sometimes where only he can understand his own joke and himself start laughing. So as he's over there trying to recompose himself, we'll go back to Green Flag Racing on lap number 95 with Keith McLean, Ricky Johnson, Keela Jules, Herman Reese, and Josh Boyer. That's our top five, but they're going to shape shift a little bit because look to the low side. KJ down underneath teammate Ricky Johnson. Battle for second, Todd, down the front chute toward turn one.
Definitely a great battle going on for that second spot. Killa Jules down to the bottom side here. The 193 machine of Ricky Johnson can't pull off the pass here. They enter the back straight away, but I tell you what, the 029 machine has been fast tonight. We'll see if he can get around him. I really want to see what he has for his teammate, the number 28 of Keith McLean. I know McLean doesn't want to have another race slip through his fingertips at all. And I know those guys are ultra competitive. They're teammates, but they're ultra competitive.
No, they really are. They race hard. They race each other really hard. They give each other a break, as a good teammate will do, or maybe not do. I know Todd and I have done this for a long time as teammates too, and we've wrecked each other more times than I think we can even count anymore. It's going to require more than the toes and the fingers and a couple of ears and eyes and whatever else Barney may teach us out there in one of the videos. But we work out there on lap 98, and I do see the car slowing. Yellow hanky back in the air for the fifth time. On lap number 98, fifth Hanover Record Service caution flag out on the speedway. And see if we can't take a quick glance back here. And oh, buddy, this is going to highlight one of our buddies as well, and one of our YouTube favorites as well. So I'm not going to steal the thunder away from Todd, but he is going to have an unfortunate circumstance to show here with a Blado.com Full Velocity Racing Network instant replay. And looks like we're going to throw a selfie, Todd. I'll let you show who the selfie is, because if I do, the ladies are going to start throwing bottles or whatever else at me, and that may not be good.
Yeah, and all by a selfie, the number 44. Around all by a selfie, Danny Rubino. And the 44 machine goes around. Doesn't make any contact with anything. A lot of selfies here tonight, Phil. It's just got to be difficult through the corner. Looks like they're kind of a bit tail happy there through the corner, maybe even off the corner there. A lot of these cars are evil here this evening.
They are evil, and as we think about this for a second, Todd, as we put triple digits up on the board, 100 of 150 in, so 2/3 the way home. I'll ask you a couple easy trivia questions. Iowa, a lot of cornfields, correct, Todd?
Of course there's cornfields.
All right. Cornfields, mainly a lot of flatland, is that right?
Yep, tornadoes.
Flatland, tornadoes. There's banking in this racetrack. Are these guys, all from Iowa that are doing selfies out here tonight? Because I know, you ride out there in the Midwest, and it's a lot of flatland and a lot of straight roads. The one S-curve they had in town caused a lot of wrecks. I mean, they got banking out here in Iowa tonight here at the 7/8 mile track, and there are 3 or 4 guys out there doing selfies. Are these guys taking driving lessons in Iowa? Because so far, those guys, we're only sold by 5 yellows, but been all selfies.
Yeah, it's definitely been all selfies. Not a lot of contact with other drivers. Cars not being destroyed like you thought they might here at Iowa. It being a 7/8 mile track, you usually see a lot of damaged cars here, short track racing. But it's pretty good. It reminds me, Phil. It kind of reminds me of like racing in New Hampshire. And you get out single file. I know New Hampshire's a way different track than what we got here in Iowa, but New Hampshire's kind of flat, And if you get spread out enough, you don't see a lot of wrecks, and that's what's happening here in Iowa. You just see the guys running really well.
Yeah, they do, and that's a really good simile right there, talking about New Hampshire being flat like that. This track, a whole lot more banking than New Hampshire does. I'm looking down here toward Pit Road, and I saw one car pull behind the wall. I think that was the 04 of Matt Stern. Also, the 25 of Ron Simpson was going to make a left-hand turn behind the wall, then stopped the race car, pulled it back in the pit area, back into his pit stall. So not exactly sure what's going on with Ron's car, but 25 currently 3 laps down. But look, it was a little bit of miscommunication there. As go behind the wall, keep it in the pit stall, whatever the heck was going on. Thought Ron may have been retiring for the race, but he pulled a fast one on me. 25 looks like still out there, maybe not out there. I have no idea what's going on.
And Jay San Diego going to be able to flash by here, get one of his last back lights are extinguished. The top that FVRN, Full Velocity Racing Network pace car, as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Hobo. Iowa Speedway here tonight is our site, and been some fantastic racing. And Josh Boyer out there, Phil, he stayed out. The number 9 of Jeff Fugate, Wiley King. Ricky Johnson elected it. I'm not sure what he elected to take for tire-wise, but came out in front of the number 28, Keith McLean. So it's going to be rather interesting. We saw this play a little bit differently earlier. With 10 laps on your tires, even 10 laps, Phil, it made a huge difference, and the number 10 dropped through the field.
Yeah, he really did. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen to the 41, the 9, the 95, as I think all three of those gentlemen elected to stay out as the Full Velocity Racing Network pace car makes its way onto pit road. And on lap 103, we should be going back to Green Flag Racing. Green Flag back in the air. And we go racing off at a turn number 1 now. Josh Boyer going to lead with Jeff Fugate, Wiley King, Ricky Johnson for the first time tonight. Keith McLean has cars he has to pass in front of him. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. But right away, look at that number 93 of Ricky Johnson right away to the low side of Wiley King. Put Ricky J up to 3. And now here comes Keith McLean going to look to follow suit off of turn 4.
Yeah, Ricky Johnson doing a fantastic job. He's going to try to put as many cars between himself and that number 28 of Keith McLean. You want to do that, Phil, because you know you're a little bit fast. You know you could maybe keep the 28 at bay for a little bit longer. It's starting to get down to nitty-gritty time here as we're just under 50 laps to go, so we're about 46 laps to go here as of right now. So you want to log off as many laps as you can and look at Ricky Johnson go right up to alongside the number 9 machine. Jeff Fugate able to get almost up right directly beside him. Not able to do it this time, but Phil, just keep an eye out because he's going to be able to get around him here. I'm almost willing to bet here in the next couple corners.
Well, maybe as that car got really loose off the exit of turn number 2 and that upset the run for that 193. That opens the door now for teammate Keith McLean's 28. He's going to look to the inside, racing for 3rd. We also going to race for the lead. Look at Jeff Fugate. He's under Josh Boyer's 8 race at it. 9 car looking for the race lead off of 2.
Yeah, good race going on there for the lead there for a temporary minute there. The number 9 of Jeff Fugate. Look down to the bottom side here. Josh Boyer. He was able to keep it side by side for a moment, but now drifting up the track as Fugate leaves the door wide open, but slams his shot there on the 193 of Ricky Johnson. Johnson trying to do everything he can to get by that number 9 machine, as the 9 is a little bit tight in the corner, slowing up the 193's momentum. The 28 McLean right there, and he's waiting for a mistake by either one of those drivers.
He certainly is, and I'm watching guys right behind the top 4. Herman Reese now up to the 5th spot. Keila Jules at number 29 machine. 029 now up to 6th. And, you know, those guys going to chase down the top 4. So we're going to have a good 6-car race here up front. Harry Codians, number 13, is already up into P7. So I said not going to be too long for the 13 car. Joins the ranks of the top 10. Harry now up to the 7th spot. And there is 6 really good cars in front of him. Wait and see how this thing turns out as we work now lap 109 here at the line. Josh Boyer continuing to lead over Jeff Fugate, but now look to the inside. Here comes Keith McLean underneath Ricky Johnson, racing for 3rd off of turn 2.
Yeah, side-by-side battle, McLean and Johnson. Johnson right now has the position, and McLean wants to wrestle it away. They're still side-by-side through 3, and off of turn number 4. Is McLean going to be able to pull up in front of him? Yes, indeed, he's going to be able to do so. He puts himself into 3rd.
Sure does. Now they continue to race it on right behind for the 5th spot as Keila Jules of 29 underneath Herman Reese. Is Herman going to roll over, let him go? So now the 029 back into the top 5. Is McLean going to take the race now to the inside of Jeff Fugate? Put the 28 car now up to P2. He may be booking a march for the race lead. Fugate caught up high, going to let Ricky Johnson go. And here comes KJ's 029. So from 2nd, he may drive all the way back outside the top 5. Jeff Fugate stuck in the outside lane off of turn 2.
Yeah, Jeff Fugate dropping back to the 5th position. It looks like not doing a very good. Not doing very good. Stuck on the outside. He's hung out there, and that's not where you want to be around Iowa. You want to be able to roll it down in the bottom, and Fugate dropping back here behind Kilojoules. I believe even behind the 13 of Harry Codian now. So about the 6th position. But meanwhile, it is Josh Boyer leading this event. He's led 12 laps. The guy that's led the most laps so far this whole event, 94 laps, being led by Keith McLean right there directly behind him.
Yep, he's going to look to the low side now off of turn number 4 down the dog leg D-shape here front stretch at Iowa. Keith McLean's Texaco Haviland Ford Davey Allison, paint scheme, going to low the low side of the racetrack, going to wash up.
Oh, contact!
Hold on now. Contact behind from Ricky Johnson. Josh Boyer's car coming around. That's going to put yellow flag on the speedway. 6th time tonight under yellow on lap number 113. And it broke there right at the front of the field. Josh Boyer relinquishing the race lead. And I think he was doing all the best he could do to hold on to second. Unfortunately, it was a bumper to the 193 of Ricky Johnson right behind him, getting into the left rear and sending a very game 41 of Josh Boyer around. And that's our first really contact of the night to put us under yellow here, Todd, on lap number 114.
Definitely our first contact spin of the evening. You can see the 28 of McLean getting by the 41 of Boyer. Boyer right now holding on to that second spot. So the 193 of Johnson trying to go down the track there did not have any room, as the 41 of Boyer right there, and he gets right into the left rear of the 41. He slides it up and into the wall. First contact spin of the evening. Unfortunately, Josh Boyer at the worst end of that one.
And unfortunately, Josh was having a really, really good night in the 41 car, but that puts us under yellow for the 6th time now as it opens up the pit lane here, and I see all the leaders electing to come down pit road. Let's see if anybody takes a little bit of sneaky play down there, as I'll see if we can't flash down toward the race leaders and see what they kind of do. So we'll see if we can't jump out to the 29 of McLean, maybe the 193 of Ricky Johnson. Let's see what those guys do on the far end of pit road. And I see 4 tires for the 28 of McLean. I see right side tires going on the 193. And going to be 4 tires for Ricky J. So Keith McLean's 4 tires. Really, really quick work there. Ricky Johnson had an issue getting onto pit road, and he's going to lose many, many spots, as he's going to lose it not only to Keith McLean, but also guys like, we look up ahead. I see Steve Rubino has got around, and multiple of cars, including Steve Grant and Kevin Roy, Herman Reese, Jeff Fugate, Harry Codian, Keela Jules. So a tough pit stop there for the number 193 of Ricky Johnson. Had some issues, I believe, getting into his pit stall and going to fall from the 2nd spot now, or 3rd. He may fall all the way back to outside the top 5. So going to be work to do for the 193 of Ricky Johnson, as we're going to take a pause here under the yellow flag. A time to take a quick drink, maybe a little bit of nature calling out there. So we'll be right back here live with Call with the restart here on your source for esports racing, the Full Velocity Racing Network. We'll be right back. Go for a restart here at the Iowa Speedway, as I think Todd has got back on the horn to join us. I had to take a drink there as Iowa's beginning to fade there around the gas. So as Larry said, doing a great job. Appreciate that. Had to suck down a little bit of Mountain Dew there, and a little bit of more stamina here for the rest of the show, as it looks like going back to green with Keith McLean going to lead the field back with Keela Jules, Harry Codian, Jeff Fugate, and Kevin Roy, our current top 5, as we go back to racing, Todd, on lap 118. We'll see if we get a good burst to the end here, and looks like everybody now on equal tire footing after this recent stop.
Yeah, everybody on equal tires, like you said. It's a 28 of Keith McLean to the early advantage here over the 029 and KJ. See if KJ is going to be able to do anything. He did try to the top shelf there on the restart to see if he was able to get by that 28 of McLean. wasn't able to do that. But the number 9 of Jeff Fugate running in that third spot. So tire strategy worked for that number 9 machine. So that put him up towards the front of the field, Phil, so he could get those 4 fresh Goodyears.
And Todd, I know you step away there for a minute under the yellow flag, but if you want to see what a bad pit stop looks like and how critical that not messing up on pit road, maybe for the money stop looks, well, look all the way back to the position number 8. You find Ricky Johnson back there. He had a trouble getting into his pit stall, a really, really slow pit stop from the second spot all the way back to 8th. You can't afford mistakes on pit road at any part of the night, especially not coming down to the bitter end of this race here with 30 laps remaining. Tough break for Ricky Johnson. He's got a good race car, but the unfortunate part is everybody's on equal tires, and these cars get tougher and tougher to pass the further up to the front you get. So right now, Ricky's got work to do. As he's got guys like Steve Rubino and Steve Grant having a heck of a race in front of them. Now Ricky going to pull low under Rubino as they look over in turn 3.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, Ricky going to try to make his way up towards the front of the field again here in that 193 machine. The bad pit stop, yeah, I did not get to see that. As he's able to get around Steve Rubino, now sets his sights on Grant. So Grant's a little bit of ways away from the number 193 machine. But yeah, pit stops are crucial, Phil. It doesn't matter if it's under green flag. Doesn't matter if it's under yellow flag. Every second counts. And that's unfortunate there for Ricky Johnson at Voiles Trucking 193.
It sure is. He's got work to do here, running out of laps now up to the 7th position, but he's going to run down over 3 seconds between the race leaders, Keith McLean and now Keela Jules, the 029. He has found his way up to second. He's about been everywhere in the field. The only thing that KJ has not done yet tonight, Todd, is lead the race, and he's got teammate Keith up ahead. We've seen these two guys race for it before. But he has. All right, he did a lady lap. He led 1 lap under yellow. Thank you, Todd, Mr. Having all the statistic buttons at the will. You killed my thunder right there. I'm done.
How many laps has Keith McLean led there, Phil? We're going to give you that terminology. How many laps has he led?
I get a guess of how many laps the 28 car has led, and I'm going to say every one of them that he's been out there in the front of the field.
No, you got to give me a guess. Out of 125 laps, how many has he led?
I am going to say 102.
Pretty darn close. 104, Phil.
Wow, that's pretty good right there. It shows that I pay attention sometimes, and I was pretty close there, so I guess almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Gotta give you a little
3 laps. I like it. You give it back, and we banter back and forth. That's what made us a great team for so long, and that's what makes a great team up at the front of the field right now with McLean leading KJ. Jeff Fugate having a good run tonight. He's in the 3rd spot, but he is now going to lose that position as Herman Reese, the number 73. Herman's been very, very quiet tonight. He's been solid all night long, but not making an awful lot of noise. And now that 73 car up to the 3rd spot around Fugate down the backstretch into turn 3.
If you remember correctly, Herman didn't make a lot of noise the last event, last couple of events, and to the very, very end. And then you start to see that 73 really come to light. So we'll see if that's the case here tonight, or maybe he just doesn't have anything for Keith McLean or KJ. I could almost be stumped if he doesn't.
I don't know. It's weird to see Herman. Can you call it struggling at this point?
I don't know.
Can you call it struggling? Guys been in the top 5 all night long, and I'm not sure, I even know. So, I'll have to wait and see what Herman Reese can do as I check out the Facebook Live side of chat here. It's been a little while since I checked it over here, and I see guys like David Chen. I see Bob Tompkins over here checked in, and I see our buddy Justin Witt from the iRacing side of things checking in. He says, Todd, what is this, NASCAR Heat? No, Justin, this is NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Yes, we still do this game. It's 16 years old, and this community is still very alive and vibrant. Many a great racing leagues, and we see one of them here tonight live at the Hobo Racing League, and we do here a lot of Tuesday nights. And yes, Justin Witt, we still out here doing an old school game, and that's what I think makes us set apart from a lot of other places out there. Is we haven't gone away from where we came from, and this is exactly where we started as our, I believe, 7th caution flag of the night now on the lap number 130. And I saw some smoke, but I didn't see the car. So usually when there was smoke, there was fire. So I'm going to try to see if I can't find something. And I think I may have. Not quite so sure. I bet I know who has, though. And that is our buddy Todd down the Full Velocity Racing Network trailer. Todd at BladeNo.com, instant replay. And what'd you find down there? You may find a little bit of contact out there on the race surface.
Well, first it was the 95 of Wiley King going around all by his selfie. Going into the corner, again in the middle of the corner, gets him middle to off. And when he goes around, he comes back down in front there. The 81 machine, the 81 nearly misses. And then the 6 hits him. Rich Napick hits the number 95 of King a little bit. So does it the 16, or well, I'm trying to think. The 66, yeah, the 66 machine of Brett Carter, that is, also just tapping the number 95 machine. So the 95 already was missing a lot of his back end there, Phil. So that could be why he went around all by himself.
Todd, don't you be saying that kind of thing, looking up the guy's backside like that. Tough break for Wiley King out there. In the number 95 is, we talked about the run for the Harry Codian machine tonight. Todd rallied himself back to the lead lap until the aliens got him again. Drop kicked Harry out of the race server back. Now 2 laps down. The guy's been rallying back to fight all night long. Poor guy can't catch a break. I feel so bad for him.
I definitely feel bad for him, Phil, as Harry Codian. At least he's staying out there. We're going to call him the Iron Man here tonight as the aliens deduct him, let him come back. They want him to race even harder. He's probably passed a lot. He's passed a lot of cars here tonight, able to go around the pace car as many times as he can. And man, I guess the aliens just don't want to leave him alone. They want him, and then they said, no, we're going to return him back, and then they'll use him up again, and then return him again. So hopefully they're all done with that, and Harry Codian maybe might be able to finish on the lead lap.
Now we'll have to wait and see as he's going to about 1 lap down aboard car number 13, and that's a tough break. 95 of Wiley King looks like the Ghost has finally got that car. That car going to retire for the evening. Was missing a lot of pieces on that car, so Wiley King behind the wall. Going to join Ron Simpson and Matt Stern and Roger Nebelsick, Rob Keller, and Manny Diaz. So got about 6 or 7 drivers that may be out of the race. Duke Sorensen's had a tough night at 59. Duke out there running 5 laps down, so we'll wait and see if he can't rebound as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in Iowa with Keith McLean leading Kilojoules. Herman Reach, Jeff Fugate, Ricky Johnson now up to a top 5. We find Brendan Spadafora on 2 tires running to the 6th spot. Steve Grant in for 7th. Kevin Roy 8th. Josh Boyer rebounded up to 9th. And Steve Rubino having a good, solid run tonight. Steve running out our top 10 as the lights are off behind the Full Velocity Racing Network Chevrolet Corvette pace car. And we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing on lap 134. So 16 laps left to go here tonight. We'll have to wait and see who is going to settle it. I think it's a good time, Todd, here on a short track as we go back to green. What do you say here as we get back racing? It's about prediction time.
We'll do a short rendition as we're back to green flag racing, and unfortunately my voice, I cannot get as high pitched as I would like to here this evening. The who's it going to be taunt, whatever you want to call it. I cannot reach down and grab it. I'm going to try my best to grab it here tonight here for the Hobo Racing, but we're going to ask you one question out there, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. Who's it going to be here tonight? Who's going to win the race? Is it going to be Keith McLean? Is it going to be Kilojoules, Herman Reese, Jeff Fugate, Ricky Johnson, Brendan Spadafora, Steve Grant, any other driver out there? We want to know who your pick is going to be here this evening. Phil, who's your pick going to be?
Well, I believe the Democratic Party of Guilford, New York may have taken your voice, so I don't know, we'll leave that one. But if I got to pick a race winner tonight here in Iowa, let's see. Well, I'm going to say Keith McLean. 28 car. He's been fast all night, sat on the pole. I haven't picked a winner in a while. I'm going to pick Keith McLean. And Todd, I'll let you have a pick here in a second, but you got some work to go back to do because the 8th yellow flag of the night, presented by Hanover Record Service, has joined us on lap number 137. So you get lucky for the time being with no pick, but we got a replay to go back and show off if we can find something.
And it's definitely going to be an easy one. It's going to be the number 81 there, Phil, going around. That's Troy Donahue. And he goes around because the squirrels quit turning the wheel. The squirrels quit turning the wheel. The black smoke comes out, and he goes around just a tad bit, and the oil on the rear tires makes him go around even more. He comes to a rest, bringing out the yellow flag.
Todd, you set it up right there. Can we sing? Are you going to sing tonight? You get the voice to sing? Wheels on the car go round and round with black smoke. I think that thing may have blew up.
Yeah, the squirrels stopped turning. They really did. They packed up. They went home. They said, "I've had enough." The chickmunks left. He's just sitting on a pit road. He's trying to get it repaired. He's trying to scurry him back into his car. But I think they're on vacation now, Phil.
All right. Well, we're under the yellow flag here for the 10th time tonight. And I got to thank our good buddy, Mr. Bob Tompkins. So that's 9 or 10. It's 9. It's 10. I'm not even sure. Bob, I have lost count. I'm starting to get up there in advanced age with you and Andy, as Todd would say.
Age for you only. Bob, you can't compare yourself between Bob and Andy. Come on now.
I mean,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
I know you asked me last
Bob,
night.
you can smack him in the head.
All right, Bob and Andy can have my butt all they want, but I'm starting to feel kind of like up near their range, I guess you could say. I'm advancing in my age. A birthday coming up here in a couple of days, and I don't want to speak of it, but I'm thinking my 30s are going to be lost here really soon, and I think I don't want to say 4. I feel like I'm going on the 7 number. So I think I'm getting up there with Bob and Andy, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I want to see us go back to racing here, Todd, but we got one more bit of business left to do. You haven't yet given us a pick. We got a couple of picks over here on the Facebook Live side of things for the 28 car. I picked a 28 car. Who do you got for a pick?
Well, I picked Kilojoules last time. I might as well stick with him this time again, Phil. I'm going to pick Killa.
All right, well, we'll wait and see. I'm looking over here to see if the YouTube chat is giving us anything, and it's the normal. It's all out here for Gent Nation. It's all about the Gent over here, and the guy has a loyal following, and we love the guy to death. That great show he does, Full Throttle to Gent over on YouTube, is becoming a sensation. So the whole YouTube chat is saying either Dairy Queen or Gent Nation. So, I don't know. Are those real picks, y'all, or are they just having fun? What do you think, Todd?
I don't know. I think they're having fun. I still have yet to been to a Dairy Queen, too. You were talking about Dairy Queen. I've still yet to be to one of them, too. They're talking about ice cream. They're talking about everything else. They're making us hungry here. We still got a race left to go, Phil. It's going to be under 10 to go. 10 laps to go here at Iowa. That pace car is getting ready to go down to pit road, and he's going to do so. We're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing off of turn 4.
Yes, we are, and we're going to settle it here with 10 laps remaining tonight in the Iowa Speedway. Keith McLean, Kilojoules, Herman Reese, Jeff Fugate, Ricky Johnson, our top 5 as we go back to Green Flag Racing at the beginning of lap 141. So let's see where the final 10 laps are going to take us. So far, so good for the 28 of Keith McLean. Kilojoules running in line. I'm looking at that car, 5th car in line. Ricky Johnson, he looks to have a fast train right now. He's looking under Jeff Fugate. 193 all over that green 9 car off turn 4.
Yeah, the 193 of Ricky Johnson, the Voiles trucking 193 below the number 9. Jeff Fugate, Sundrop, the sponsor on that number 9 machine. Bright colored car. Love the color scheme of that car. And Ricky Johnson, though, down to the bottom, side by side. Imaginary door handle down the back straightaway. Give it to Ricky Johnson. Put him up to P4.
Yeah, up to P4, and does he have more to give? And I'll tell you what, Todd, look at the run off the corner for the 28 of Keith McLean, leading the field until the yellow flag comes out again. We say yellows breed yellows. They are doing it at the end of this one tonight. Now on lap number 143, the caution flag greets us out here, and with a couple of laps remaining, and I think it may have gone, not our old buddy and friend and one-point broadcast colleague, old Josh Boyer. This one, oh man, this one looks like it may have been a little bit wild. and abrasive, Todd. As you go back and show us a BladeNo.com full velocity instant replay, somebody was going for Bear here. Tough break for Josh Boyer.
Definitely going to be probably the wreck of the race so far. The 41 of Boyer looks like he was kind of holding his line a little bit there. As I really don't have the view to judge that. Him and Rubino make contact. Sends the 41 creating into the wall, back down into Jason San Diego. Does a little bit of flipping down, does one little flip over, does a 360. Lands on his wheels, keeps it going. But the black smoke on the 41 of Josh Boyer, never a good sign. And looks like that engine done here this evening.
Yeah, that 41 car is dead. It rolls back. You know, he at least drove it back behind the wall, but black smoke, never a good sign. And he's going to join Troy Donahue, who just went off the racetrack with a blown motor, Wiley King, Ron Simpson, Matt Stern, Roger Nevelsick, Rob Keller, Manny Diaz, all those drivers behind the wall. Looks like we're going to have 16 on the lead lap as we roll around under yellow here on lap number 144. So we're down to the nitty-gritty of this thing, and if it stays, kind to the snail's pace, you got to think Advantage 28 car. KJ's got a really good piece. Are we going to get a long green flag run? Are we going to get a long enough run to display it here, or how about a short burst here on some cold tires? Does somebody take the cold tires and run the risk of driving it deep down to the corner and maybe make something happening? I don't think we're done with the excitement here tonight in Iowa.
No, I don't think we're done with the excitement. There's going to be some excitement left here in the tank. And like you said, the 029, he's been fast, but it's been faster on the longer run is Killa. We'll see if he's got anything for Keith McLean. Herman Reese, don't count him out in the 73 machine. Ricky Johnson's already back up to 4th. Jeff Fugate, Steve Grant, Brendan Spadafora. Great run up to 7th position. The 77 and Kevin Roy running 8th. 9th is Steve Rubino. Danny Rubino rounds out your top 10.
And Danny has rebounded really nicely tonight in the 44, and haven't talked about Bino a whole lot, but said rallying back and fighting, and you see the Rubino family right now running in the 9th and 10th, so great runs for both of those guys. Harry Codien's night, Todd, of just fighting, he is continued. He has got himself not only back to the lead lap, but Harry Codien has rebounded back to a 12th place, so maybe some fresh tires on that 13. He maybe potentially could make a run at a top 10 finish, or I think it would be a really good night for a guy who's had to do nothing but overcome adversity the entire race.
Yeah, he's definitely overcome adversity the entire race, and right now currently running in 12th, so we'll see what's going to happen here as the restart gets ready here. Just to honest here, it'll probably be our last restart here of the evening at Iowa Speedway. We are in turn 2. The field is restacked and repacked. The Full Velocity Racing Network pace car still in tow. So we'll wait for him to duck down in off of turn 4 as they enter the back straightaway there, Phil. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see where the winner's going to come from. Is McLean going to be able to hold on to it there, that number 28 machine? Is Killer going to be able to get around him? Herman Reese or even the 193 of Ricky Johnson. The 9's been fast. Jeff Fugate as we get ready to throw that green flag off of turn number 4 once again, probably for the final time.
All right, hoping for the final time. Pace car makes its way in. Green flag going back in the air on lap 146. We'll see if anybody has anything to throw at the number 28 of Keith McLean, a guy who is far and away led the most laps here tonight in Iowa. KJ right there running in second. Herman Reese, Ricky Johnson, Jeff Fugate's number 9. Jeff's had a great night. He rides in the 5th spot, but yellow flag going to come right back out onto the racetrack, and they're going to race back to the yellow on lap number 147, and this one may end the race under yellow, so that is an absolute tough break. As we really saw some good racing here tonight in Iowa, and unfortunately a car that ran really good early is going to be the subject here, Todd, of another BladeNo.com full velocity instant replay. I know we've kept you busy here tonight. A lot of the selfies early on, but this one here was anything but a selfie. A couple of savage hits over here, and not exactly sure where it started, but I do see Kevin Roy and a couple of others may have been involved.
Well, Phil, as he goes by the start finish, the green flag comes out, it's weird because the 30 or 77 to Kevin Roy, it looks like just something went awry. He decelerates to the 77 machine. Rubino right up his rear there, sending the 77 around here, and the 21 of Steve around. 77 comes back down. Another savage hit from the number 10. 10 hard into the number 21 of Rubino. So, man, another savage hit there as he does a wheelie here in that number 10 machine.
Sure does, and unfortunately, it's going to take the 10 car out of the race, as is the 21 of Steve Rubino, who was up in the top 10 all night long, having such a good run. And it gets all ended for him here late in the going. Going to probably be our final yellow flag of the night because off of turn number 4, we get the white flag behind the Full Velocity Racing Network safety car, and that is a bad thing because that means this race hot is going to end under yellow. As I'm out here, I'm looking at Kevin Roy's car, absolutely destroyed, running in the 14th position, but it's running, and he's determined to finish this thing out. As much as that Ford Mustang right now looks like maybe a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, at least he's out there running, going to be able to try to finish this one here, Phil, under yellow flag conditions at the end of the back straightaway here for the final time. I don't think McLean has any issue with any type of gas situation. Either does the 029 machine, but the teammates taking down the top spots here, 1 and 2 here. So we'll see if Keith McLean, we'll see what he has to say down in victory lane, as he's going to lead this time and the final lap, the most important lap. This will be lap 130, Phil. Only 20 other laps were led by other drivers here tonight. Keith McLean puts on a clinic here at Iowa.
Oh, don't tell me he did what I think he just did. Did he cross the finish line? Yeah, he did. I thought he pulled in too early. Keith McLean going to take down the win over Keela Jules, Herman Reese, Ricky Johnson, Jeff Fugate, our top 5 with Steve Grant, Brendan Spadafora, Danny Rubino, Harry Codian, and Ralph Pauly rounding out our top 10. We will talk to our top 3 on the FullVelocityBladeNo.com post-race show coming up next on your source for esports racing, the Full Velocity Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. Post-race coming up next. We'll be right back.
Huh.
Sport Racing, the Full Velocity Racing Series tonight, running the Iowa Speedway. Our big winner tonight is going to be the driver of car number 28, Keith McLean, beating teammate Keela Jules. And our third place finisher going to join me now up here in the booth aboard car number 73 of Herman Reese. Herman, this is the most quiet of a third place run I think you have ever had in your life here in this game, man. Good race car all night long, but not the speed to catch those guys up front. Tell us about your race there, bud.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like I was a 4th place car, and in practice, I was pretty optimistic. Felt I was really good. It was weird, just the way I tried to save some, and that hurt me. I tried to pace. The only time that ever paid off is when I ran hard at the end there. Keith and KJ and Ricky, they were in another zip code. I mean, I was just hoping for some strategy or that they all got together, which almost happened a half dozen times. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed, to be honest, with a third place finish after some of the practice.
It was quiet, but it's still overall a good night for you. A good points thing indeed. But this track at Iowa, as we Todd and I talked about over the years, is this place has always been really, really tough to pass. Really a single lane kind of racetrack. You get up high and you get stuck out there in maybe 2 tires and no tires versus 4. There's nothing you could do with this place. It's just one lane, and track position means everything. I think you probably agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely. You could see what happened when the 41 stayed out on no tires. He was able to hold off the faster cars for quite a while. I was kind of impressed with that. And then unfortunately he paid for it though. But it definitely, I think there was you had to use some strategy. You got high, you had to take your medicine and let those other guys go. And you just basically had to hope that somebody was going to get loose coming off, because that's how it was in practice. Everybody was about 5, 6, 7 laps in, and then they'd start losing the rear end. And that's what I worked on all practice, is putting that firmness, that grip in it. And I told those guys and told Keith, I said, I think I've touched every adjustment that I can during this race, and I really didn't feel like I made a dent in those guys.
And I think I agree with you there. Those 2 guys, those 3 guys are really in a different area called all night long. But Herman, a really good solid night for you. A quiet night, but a good solid third place run. I'm going to give you the mic one final time out here on the network via Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Herman, race driver of car number 73. The floor is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I want to thank Steve and Dan and Brian Vols Trucking and the sponsors I have here, Brandon Spadafori. And these drivers coming out put on a pretty good show. This is 2 weeks in a row. We've had a pretty good race. So let's see if we can keep it up. And thank you guys again, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, we absolutely will see you soon. There you go, folks. Car number 73, Herman Risa, old friend of ours. We've talked to Herman many, many times over the years, and a guy with a tremendous amount of talent. And it shows you the strength of the field when a guy like him says he's disappointed with a third place run, because I think any of us would take a third place run anytime. We go down here trackside. We'll talk to the driver of the 029 is hopping out of the race car, our buddy Keila Jules. And KJ, it's been quite a while since we've talked to you in the second place position out here. Really good fast car tonight, but nothing for that 28 up front, man. Tell us about your race car all night long.
Yeah, I actually didn't get a single lap of practice. I didn't qualify, no happy hour. So I just kind of guessed and threw something in there and started driving it when the race started. And it worked pretty good.
Your car was a rocket. And I told Todd that a little while ago. I said, you know what? KJ just got here. I don't think he took a single lap of practice, didn't qualify, started near the back, and right away I seen you start picking off cars. And on a racetrack that is normally really hard to pass on, your car really came through the field like a hot knife through butter, man. There had to be a lot of challenges going through there, because it's not easy to pass on this racetrack.
Hey, luckily we got a bunch of good guys at the shop, PPR too. The whole team ran good tonight. Matt ran into a little trouble, but me, Ricky, and Keith, we were top 3 all night long. We were pretty much trading lap times. I was just a little too tight on new tires. It was set up to be tight, and as the run went, it got looser. That one long run, I was running Keith back down again. It just didn't get enough laps for the car to come in where I could actually race him.
No, and his car seemed to be really hooked up all night long. It seemed like he had an extra little bit of gear that everybody else didn't have. His car was flawless all evening long to lead 130 laps, but we've seen you do this many times too. Go out there and dominate the field, KJ. But a good, solid second place run that's going to hold on to the overall points lead. So overall, a really good, solid night for you. I'm going to give you the mic one final time out there live via YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Keila Jules, the floor is all yours there, buddy. Thank you. I'd like to thank out there.
Yeah, I'm ready for the road course next week, so I'll take a second place here because short tracks are my strong suit, so I'll take it. I want to thank you guys in the booth there for putting on the broadcast. That was a good race tonight. Short tracks, you can get caution fest if you don't watch out, but that was a pretty good race. I want to thank the guys at the admins at Hobo for putting that on like always. Also want to thank Brian Vols, even though he wasn't here tonight, and Vols Trucking for sponsoring the race. Want to thank all the fans for watching the race. It was a pretty good race inside the car. It was a good race for everybody in the field. A lot of give and take there, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, he says it's a classy atmosphere that we find at Hobo each and every week over here, and good to come over here and talk to some of the great talents we find. We've talked to Herman. Now we got KJ here in the second spot, finishing up second here tonight. So we have talked to two really good fast race car drivers. We're going to talk to a third one next because we go down toward Bladeno.com, Victory Lane. We find the Texaco Haviland Ford, car number 28 of Keith McLean in Victory Lane with our buddy Todd Stanton.
Yeah, definitely down here in Victory Lane with the driver, the number 28, Keith McLean. And McLean leading 130 laps of 150. You can pretty much say you dominated that one, Keith. Fantastic race here at Iowa for the 28 team, and nice rebound back here tonight.
Yeah, that was redemption from last week. I was at my limit when the race started last week, so that didn't turn out too good.
So how many are you at your limit now there, Keith, or are you going to have a few more?
No, I got a few more in here. But no, it was a good race. Me and Ricky and KJ, old boy, came all the way from the back up there, and he hadn't even practiced all week. So it was pretty good run for the team, and I thought Ricky had the best car all through practice, but when we got during the race, I made a few adjustments, and I guess it was just a little bit better.
Now, Keith, through the race, we're always talking about adjustments, and Phil put me on the spot here tonight. I'm a dirt guy, so obviously everybody knows that. I know the transition to setups that way, but what kind of changes can you make to make your car better here tonight? I noticed a lot of cars were loose, but your guys' cars drove off. What kind of changes do you make to those cars during runs here tonight?
Well, tonight, about the only changes I made, I noticed that if the right rear got more than 6 degrees hotter than the right front, I'd get loose. So I dropped some tire pressure on the right front, and I dropped the left rear tire pressure because it wasn't wearing at all. Just try to get some more drive off and get a little bit more heat in that right front. So it was mostly air pressure, and I did about 20 to go when we were low on fuel. I cranked about, I think, like 7 clicks of track bar in it to offset not taking fuel, and it seemed to work just fine.
All right, so we got to hear a little bit of the setup terminology here from Keith McLean, Phil. So, I guess I was in the ballpark, but again, I was not in the ballpark either. But Keith, I'm going to be microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank you. I would like to thank you this evening on the Full Velocity Racing Network for this awesome win here this evening.
Just like to give a thanks to Steve and Dan and all the admins in the league. It's a great league. Lots of good guys. Brian Bowles for sponsoring the league. Brendan Spatafor sponsored some stuff too. Just a good bunch of guys, and give a shout out to my girl Jess. KJ's girl Jess. I hope she had a good weekend in Myrtle Beach. And just everybody else that enjoyed the race. I hope y'all did.
Definitely a fantastic race, and congratulations. And hopefully we'll see more to come here on the Full Velocity Racing Network. Some more wins for that number 28 machine. What do you think?
It won't be next week. That'll be Mr. KJ or Harry. I think we're racing Infineon next week, and we're lucky to see this 28 in top 5.
Well, there you have it, Phil. Don't pick the 28 next week. It's going to be rather interesting to see what's going to happen. I don't think we're here on the Full Velocity Racing Network, but Keith McLean doing a fantastic job here tonight. I don't think we're going to show up to the road course, but if you're going to have a pick here next week, it's going to be don't pick Keith McLean because he's not very good on the road courses, from what he's saying.
Well,
I'm sure he's better than us.
No, I'm sure he's better than us. But, guys say that. I'm not good at a place like that, and it wouldn't shock me one bit to see Keith maybe, if not win, up in the top 3. Is that guy, don't want to sell him short. That guy's a tremendous talent behind the wheel, as all those guys are. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we're not going to be out here next week. I am actually making my way out to upstate New York, and we're going to kick off the Full Velocity TV Summer Summit of 2019 out there, starting off on Thursday. We'll be out on the airwaves over there in Mount Upton, New York, at the home base of the headquarters of Full Velocity. So looking forward to getting out there. But we're going to be away next Tuesday, so we're not going to be on the air. And then the 4th of July holiday follows that. So we're going to come back to Hobo, Todd, on Tuesday, July the 9th. And what better way to come back out here than going back to Daytona Beach, where the seasons all start? It's the 4th of July coming up, approaching. So we're going back to Daytona with the guys at Hobo. I'm looking forward to coming back in 2 weeks and looking even more forward to the summit we have coming up here. There's going to be a lot of good racing we're going to see when we get together here in a couple of days.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of good racing, Phil. You can't count that out. Tomorrow night, something we circle on the calendar. We got Wednesday night street fights, DWR style. And Thursday night, I believe, hopefully we get back in time, as there's going to be a lot of flying around in vehicles. On Thursday night, we're going to make our way over to ASTA for a championship series for those guys. So hopefully we make it back in time for that one. And then Friday, obviously Friday and Saturday, we'll be out and about. You'll see some Facebook Live posts. I'm pretty sure of that one.
Yes, you will. Oh, for sure. We're going to have a good weekend out there in New York. And then Sunday night, we get back to it busy. Twin bill over at DWR with the Extent Reps, UMP Modified Series, and the Sunday Shootout Series on the Street Stocks all convening on Tuesday. Monday night, the big doubleheader over at DSO 24. So a lot of great racing to come over the next couple of days. So on behalf of all of us here at the network, for Martin Karch and Ron Piles, Brett Rolls, Jack Truin, my buddy Todd, got to thank Steve and Dan Rubino, all the great work they do over here. Thank Brendan Spatafor for his help. Thank our sponsors. Once again, of course, Voiles Trucking, Hanover Wrecker Service, iRacing, iFlag, Bladeno.com, South Texas Speedway, Montstar Productions, TDR Racing League, Hard Motorsports, Trash Panda Graphics, Evil One Graphics, and once again, Full Throttle with the Gent over on YouTube. For everybody here at the Full Velocity Racing Network, everybody have a great, safe, and happy night. We'll see you back here live tomorrow on the dirt. We go back to DWR for another round of Wednesday night street fights at the Volusia Speedway Park. So for Todd, I am Phil. We'll see you back here live on your source for esports racing, the Full Velocity Racing Network. Good night, everybody.
Good night.